This is Jennifer Rose, and we're going to talk about gift giving anxiety. This is part 3, and I'm going to continue the conversation. We're going to continue the story. I started this whole conversation because I have a lot of gift giving anxiety. And as I contemplated it and explored my gift giving anxiety, it really, it's like, I never know if it's the right thing. I never know if it's what they want. I never know if it's just another piece of junk that they're going to throw away. Actually, and I have something inside me that kind of resents this idea that I have to give a gift. So it's like a little bit of that rebellion inside me. I don't want to have anyone tell me I have to give a gift. I don't want anyone to tell me I have to feel grateful. Like I get that around Thanksgiving too. So I get this gift giving anxiety. And when I really start to unpack it, unwind it, really, I am trying to get something from the people I give the gift to. I mean, if I want to be honest with myself, I'm giving to get. Like, what do I want to get? I want them to like me. I want them to think I'm so cool. I want them to think that I know them so well that I pick out the perfect gift for them. So I'm like giving to get something back. I want them to feel like I fulfilled my obligation for the holiday season. So I'm in this getting mode. And when I'm in the getting mode, I'm never going to feel calm. I'm never going to feel relaxed. I'm never going to feel like, oh, I'm just giving a gift. What's the big deal? What's the big deal? So I talked a lot about in the other episodes about quieting the mind and using some specific techniques to quiet the mind. If you don't have a meditation practice or a regular practice to quiet your nervous system, I recommend that. I've got some really simple, easy techniques that I use and that I teach. And I always say that they're simple but effective, simple but powerful. So quiet the mind, quiet the body, relax a little bit, relax the mind, relax the body. So that's the first thing. And then I talked in part 2 about getting into that feeling of gratitude, invoking that feeling of gratitude, so that when you're giving, you're not giving to get. You're giving because you're like, oh, I feel so grateful. I want to give. And it's as if you imbue the giving, whatever it is that you give, time, money, a present, a phone call, a letter, you're imbuing it with the quality of gratitude because you're so grateful. You're sharing your gratitude. So I talked about that in part 2. And today in part 3, I want to talk about how to go a little bit deeper. Now, as you open your mind to your higher self, to your holy self, to your angels or guides, whatever you want to call this entity, this energy, this wholeness of your being. I like to call it that, the wholeness of my being. Believe me, that wholeness of my being knows a lot more than I do. It can really see things and perceive things beyond space and time. So as I'm communicating and conversing with the wholeness of my being and inviting my holy self to show me what gratitude is, I spontaneously had memories of where people extended kindness to me. And I was able to experience, re-experience, relive great gratitude. And I also, as I was moving through this practice, I also had a memory of when I was younger. I didn't really ask for this. I mean, who wants a painful childhood memory? Of when we were all, my father and I, he had taken me on a trip to Argentina because we have a lot of family there. And he had bought all these gifts for like all the cousins and the aunts and the uncles. And he had brought all these gifts from the United States. And at that time, it was like a big deal. I mean, we're talking like 30 plus years ago. It was a big deal to get all these gifts from the States. And I remember that everyone was so excited unwrapping gifts. And then my dad like looks at me and he forgot to give me a gift. He forgot to bring something for me because, we live in the States. And later he said to me, "Oh, I'm sorry. I wish I would have gotten you something." And at the time, because I have been so well raised to be a people pleaser, even at like 12 and 13, I had really learned how to do that. I was just like, no, that's okay. But inside, it really wasn't okay. Inside, it really did hurt me. So I had this beautiful opportunity now that I'm an adult woman, a grown woman with some emotional maturity. I had this beautiful opportunity to really tend to that little 12-year-old girl that I was at that time and say, "Oh, honey," we started this honest conversation. "Oh, honey, it really wasn't okay. I know he forgot. Yes, people forget, but really wasn't okay. And let me love you. Come here, honey." So I have this like conversation with that girl who felt left out. Nobody likes her. Nobody wants to give her a present. She's sort of an afterthought. I just had this really tender moment with her to give her everything with a generous heart, to give her appreciation and love and acknowledge how she felt at that time. And I know that that's not easy because, maybe you really have had some deep hurts, but that's the way out. Going in is the way out. So after I had that moment with her, and I'm not saying you have to go on a witch hunt and like dig out past hurts. They might just spontaneously bubble up or not. Really, your higher self is totally in charge of your journey. So after I had that memory and I was able to tend and befriend that younger aspect of myself, it's as if now when I think about gift giving, it's as if it's no big deal. It's kind of lost its charge and neutralized. It's a miracle. It is a miracle. It really is a miracle. And a part of the miracle is that my husband totally swooped in. I didn't ask him to. He swooped in and he is like, "Oh yeah, I got this person a gift. I got that person a gift. I got that person a gift. And we're done." And I was like, well, I could get up all in his business and see if there are gifts that I would give. But I admit to the fact that it's not really my thing. It's not really what I enjoy doing. So I just let go of control. And that's a miracle. So I hope these three-part series of gift giving anxiety has been very helpful to you over this holiday.